Daddy used to be a preacher. He came from a family of preachers. My mama's family was very devout as well. Then, one day, a few years ago, Daddy decided to quit the ministry and abandon prayer. Not only did he give it up, but he told us we couldn't pray either. So just like that, a big part of what I believed in was gone. My little brother got sick a few months ago, and it was bad. Every day, he just seemed to get worse and worse. Mama cried a lot, and Daddy went around with a worried look on his face. Then came the day they told me he wasn't gonna get better. He was gonna die. I have to admit that I was scared and very sad, very confused about why Daddy wouldn't let us pray. I mean, we always used to pray whenever something was wrong. Heck, we'd pray when nothing at all was wrong. I just couldn't understand why. When faced with the prospect of my little brother dying, Daddy wouldn't let us pray. It just didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Finally, the day came when little Jacob passed away. Through her tears, Mama told me that his little body just couldn't keep going anymore. I was devastated. Jacob had been the best little brother ever. He was kind and fun to be around. He'd always been happy, even in the last days when he'd been too sick to get out of bed. He'd always seemed happy to see me. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Finally, about a week after the funeral, it got to be too much. I missed him something fierce. Mama and Daddy were off in their own worlds somewhere, and I was alone in my room. I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I couldn't help it. I dropped down on my knees and I began to pray. I told God I was miserable without my little brother, and I begged him to send Jacob back to me. I'd do anything, if only he'd send him back. Just a few minutes later, I heard the scream. It was my mama, and she wouldn't stop. It scared me, and it scared me even more when I heard Daddy start yelling as well. Then I smelled something rotten, and I think I knew. You see, there'd been a reason Daddy had made us stop praying. We were so devout. He'd said that our prayers were always answered, but often not in the way we expected. We weren't always smart enough to understand what it was we were asking for. Jacob came into my room with that smile on his face I knew so well. The problem, though, was that his skin was greenish, and his belly was all bloated, and there was this yellowish pus oozing from his eyes. I was horrified. He reached to give me a hug, and his arm fell off.